Hello everyone and welcome to Lovella's Coloring. What I have for you guys is my review of the ParKoo permanent markers. I was contacted by ParKoo and asked to do an honest review of their 36 colors of permanent markers. So as you can see, these marker pens are housed in a plastic container with a snap closing thingy. And on the front you'll see the ParKoo brand sign. It says create vibrant colors, 36 colors, ParKoo colors. Then in the back you have the SKU, and then their website name. But as you can see on the container, you can easily see your pens, and I labeled all my pens so they're set up so I can see it through there. And I'll probably just go ahead and leave these pens in this container. It's really useful and especially when I can see it and I don't have to worry about like digging through finding the color that I wanted. So the reason why they all facing this same way is because there's this little plastic sleeve in here where the pen cover hooks, and then it stays straight that way. So I did a color chart for these permanent markers, and I have them charted in this color chart collection edition by Yasmin Eldahan. And I like to do all of my marker color charts in this kind of paper because a majority of the books I would color with these permanent markers or any kind of markers, alcohol markers especially, is I would use them all in Amazon or Create Space paper. So the way you'll know if you have an Amazon printed paper is that they'll have a SKU in the back, plus where it's made and the date it was printed. So here is the color swatch for ParKoo. Really great range of colors. You have your yellow, orange, red, and several pinks, maroons. You have your purple, blues, turquoise colors, greens, browns, and gray and black. So it's a great range of color. Though for me, I wish they would add a little more. I mean, if they were to have a bigger pack, I would request more yellows, actual reds. This looks more like to me, like a red orange. And this one probably more on the pinkish side than a red. This is probably closer to a red, but it's a darker one. Yeah, and other colors I probably want more of probably purples and blues. Yeah, so yellows, reds, purples, and blues. But overall, just for the 36, this is a good set of colors to have for that set. So I'll go ahead and compare it with the big marking. So this is my color swatch for the big marking. This is the 36 set. So again, same number of colors. They do have several colors that are similar, and then they also have some colors that are close enough. They're probably like a shade darker or a shade lighter. So like rambunctious red right over here. To me, that would be the same color as number 12, but number 12 is a shade lighter, I think, than rambunctious red. And it depends on your lighting, I guess, also. And then number 14 right over here, it's kind of like a purplish, maroonish color, depending on how you look at it. Looks like a berry, prairie berry, or maybe desert rose. So it's like, you know, they're kind of similar, kind of not. But, you know, if you have either or of them, they would be great sets to use. Or even if you have both of them, they'll be great sets to use together. And it's the same for me with the Sharpies. You know, Sharpies have colors that you don't have with the big marking, or you don't have it with the ParKoo, and then ParKoo has colors that you don't have in some of these other colors, so, or other sets. So like this one doesn't have many yellows, I have only one yellow, but compared to both the big marking and the ParKoo, they have a lot of reds. So yeah, so but for me, like, I like to use lots of sets all together, and I'll mix match them depending on the colors that I want to use. So knowing that ParKoo has colors that Sharpies and Bics don't have, it's a great addition to my collection of permanent markers. So talking about these markers, again, they're permanent markers, which means they're also alcohol markers. They do have a strong odor. So, and if I were to rate them of how strong the odor is, these ParKoos would be second, with Sharpies, of course, being the strongest, so the first. Let me go ahead and compare how they look, the pens. So these are really nice pens, smooth barrel, kind of looks like a Sharpie. So let me go ahead and share with you how the tip looks like. So I like how the tip is really pointy at the end, so you know, those really tight corners to color in where you're trying not to have the ink spread. This is great to just like lightly go into that corner. But I'll go ahead and share with you how the other markers look like compared to the ParKoo. This is the Sharpie Intergalactic Indigo. So it's kind of close, but the tip of the ParKoo is a little bit longer. And then if I were to show you the big marking, so I really like the tip of the ParKoo markers compared to the Sharpie and Bic, because I know with the Sharpie and Bic, I tend to want to go and use the ultra fines instead of the regular fine ones. So these are like the fine tip ones, the ParKoos. But looking at the tip, it just looks like you can easily, you know, color in tighter spaces. So go ahead and put this almost here. So I did do a finish coloring using these ParKoo markers. Let me go ahead and close this, put this aside. I did color in the Travel Mosaic. This is a Sun Life drawing coloring book. So what I did was colored this page right over here, and just using the ParKoo colors, the colors that are available in this 36 set. So I was able to find something to use for each of the colors. And as you can see, it does bleed through, but the back of the paper is black, but you can kind of still see the ink coming through. But every time or anytime you use the alcohol markers, permanent markers, always keep a cardstock behind it to prevent it from bleeding through to your next page. So yeah, I'm not the neatest color using markers. I tend to bleed outside the lines, so I like to with these books, I like to fill in the middle with gel glitter gel pens. Like this one is the Pentel Sparkle Pop, so you can see the shine, but I like it because it makes it clean. I don't care what color glitter or glitter pen I'm using. If it covers the line, it cleans up my bleed throughs. So any kind of markers for me, if I'm coloring it on Create Space paper again, so we look right here, they like to soak up the ink, the alcohol ink. So For me, I always expect bleed through is to stay with both Sharpies and Bics or any kind of alcohol markers. So yeah, it really colors nicely. I like that I'm able to use colors from this set for this mosaic book. Okay. So I want to go ahead and do a coloring from the Coloria Mandalas coloring book using the ParKoo markers. I'll color this page right here. Let me go ahead and zoom you in. Okay, so I already picked out colors for this mandala. And the colors I have picked out is number 4, so it's the orange one right here. Number 10, which is this one. Number 13. Number 23, which is like a turquoise, light turquoise color. And then number 28, which is like an olive green. Okay, so I'll go ahead and start with the olive green because I already know where I want to color that, which is these leaves here. Let's see if I can get down here. So this is cardstock, so it's not a Create Space or Amazon printed paper, and so I don't believe it will spread too much, but I try to be light as I color, especially with alcohol markers. So go ahead and Okay, so that's all I'm gonna do. I think in the little spaces that I left, I will use a Squirrel Stardust or maybe a Pentel Sparkle Pop for those little things, just as little accents for the mandala. But yeah, I really like how they color. Oops, especially on cardstock. I forgot to tell you that I did have a what do you call that? Like a cutting mat to put behind the page, because as you can see, alcohol markers do bleed through, but because this is cardstock, I didn't really have that much worry about it bleeding through. Plus, this is like the last page of this book. So yeah, I really had fun. I did bleed through like a little bit, like on the green. And I tried to be careful too, but my hands shake sometimes when I color, especially with markers, and I'm trying to be so precise and stay within the lines, but it's all good. I really like the colors, and I was kind of unsure of how I was going to lay down the colors in here, but yeah, you just have to kind of go in and just put them down and then just go from there. So hopefully you'll see this in my finished colorings at the end of the month for August. And yeah, so let me go ahead and move this aside. Okay, I wanted to also add, because I think I forgot to say this earlier, is that with these ParKoo pens, actually with any markers, I would go ahead and swatch it, because like with these pens, these marker or permanent marker pens, the caps, I wouldn't go off the caps to pick your colors. I would go off a color chart, because the color of the caps don't exactly match the color chart. So if we're going to see like number 5 over here, this is the color of the cap. Does not even come close to the color that it lays down. This really light pink compared to the other pinks over here, the way it lays down is like this, like a candy looking pink. But it's back there. Yeah, so there are several colors in this set that you'll find that the caps don't match the ink, but for me it's the same for any markers, especially pencils too, just because the color is on the cap or on the barrel of the pencil. I don't go by that. Sometimes if I'm familiar with the pencils like Prismacolor, I go by the names, but usually I go by the color that I lay down on a color chart, so I'm not just like realizing as I color that I'm using the wrong color, or I'm using a color that I did not expect to use. So yeah, so we'll go back. So these ParKoo 36 markers on Amazon, the price for them is, I'm going to put this away first. The price for them is $12.99, and it currently has a 10% off coupon that you can click on before you purchase it if you decide to get this 36 set. I will provide a link to the marker pens down below, and also the link to the ParKoo product page on Amazon. In case you don't already know, I am an Amazon affiliate, so any Amazon.com links in my description that is used, I do get a few cents from that. There is no obligations for you guys to use it, and you can easily search it up on the app or website, but thank you if you do use it. So overall, I am pretty happy with these markers, especially to use them for coloring. They are a great addition to add to my current set of permanent markers. On its own, this set by itself, even though they have a color from each of the main colors, I do wish that there are more variety, as I said before, of yellows, more reds, and purple, blues, and browns, but I might be greedy. I mean, if they have a set with more colors, that would be so awesome to have, to use it along with the other kinds of permanent markers I have. They do have a great selection, so I can pick colors from all of the sets to use. So this set has colors that aren't represented in other brands of permanent markers. For me, you know, hopefully, maybe if they can or are already planning to, I hope they come out with a set with more colors. And also, it's a thumbs up for me regarding the price for these pens, especially if you compare them to, you know, Sharpies and Bics. So, yep, so that's it. I want to thank you all for watching my review for these ParKoo 36 color permanent markers. I did plan to do this video a few days ago, but I ended up stuck in bed with vertigo. I'm still a little bit dizzy right now, so in case I sounded kind of like off or out of breath, I don't remember as I was recording, it's probably because I made myself dizzy for a moment. But I do want to thank ParKoo for sending me these markers to review. And again, thank you to all of you for watching. Please take care, keep safe and healthy, and I'll see you all at my next video. Happy colorings. Bye-bye.